2020, okay? Because what is failure? It's honestly just a roadmap to your success. And I feel like through my time in this business, I have failed so many times that it's kind of worked me up to where I am now. And let's talk a little bit about that. So I want you guys for a second to reflect back on 2019. Wow, so much happened, right? I'm sure there was good stuff. I'm sure there was bad stuff. I want you to think about what resolutions that you made for in 2018 that you didn't fall through with in 2019 and why. What happened? Did you just make an excuse for it? What happened there? What fell short? And then I'm sure most of you guys have written down what you want for 2020. Okay, so let's think about 2019 for a little bit. Really think about what you could have done more to make your goals happen, okay? And then I want you to throw some of your resolutions that you have going into this year into the chat. I'm sure you guys have written them down. I'm sure you have them in your head, what you want to do. Put those in the chat right now, okay? Stay-at-home mom, build confidence, no more procrastinating. I see a lot of Market Mentor, okay? I always tell my girls the key to Market Mentor is MMP, right? You need 2 MMBs, so MMP for everyone gets on your team. AED, I love it. So many ranks, but I also want you guys to remember that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Okay, and I want you to realize that every day we're waking up and we're putting in the work and we're putting in the effort, and it sometimes feels monotonous and like we're doing the same thing over and over again, but those little actions will get you to where you want to go, okay? So the 2 things I want you to write down, so you will see them every single day, whether you have to make it your background on your phone screen or put a sticky note next to your bed. I want one word to rule everything that you are embodying for 2020. Like, pick a word that is just so powerful. It's so like where you're headed this year, whether it's self-love or whether it's determination, whether it, you know, power, or for me, I really want to focus on like peace, like being at peace and self-growth and just not having to be in a million places at once to feel like I'm doing something, right? So take one word and what is going to define your year. And every time there's some sort of adversity that comes up, that something's trying to set you back, that, you know, whatever it is, I want you to think about this word and it changes your mood 100%. So it has to be super powerful, okay? And then I want you to write down a figure. I want you to write down how much money you are going to make this year with Monat. And I want you to save it, because when the next year hits, and you look back, I bet a lot of you are going to be so spot on with that number if you're showing up daily that you're going to be mind blown. Okay, so I was listening to a video earlier and it was of Jim Carrey. And before he got his big break with all his movies and he was like a famous person, he got let go from so many movies. Turn down, turn down, turn down. If you're an actor and actress, you know how hard it is out there to get these jobs. And then he said one day he sat down and he said he started to get a little more movies and shows and stuff. He sat down and he was like, by November of 1988, I think, or 1998, I'm going to make $10 million. And that day he got a check for the movie Dumber and Dumber for that amount of money. And that just blew my whole mind. Okay. So how much money is this year going to bring you with Monat? Okay. And I want you to make it big and scary. If you're willing to put in the work, you guys have no idea what is capable here. And Greta messaged us and she was like, Ray always tells me, take your biggest check from 2019 or whatever year it is, multiply it by 4. And that is going to be what your biggest check will be this year, which makes me sick to my stomach because I just can't believe this is our life. Okay, guys. So we know that setting goals is great, but what usually happens? Adversity sets in and we piece the fuck out. And I've seen it way too many times, guys. I've seen it way too many times. A lot of us will even make a resolution to go to the gym and get fit. And then they give up in 2 weeks when they don't see results or when they're tired or whatever it is. Like, you guys have to stop giving up on yourselves so easily. So a lot of times in this business, you know, people will come in, you're so fired up, or you just hit MMP, you're fired up. You go through a breakup. You can't seem to find the time. Your team is falling off. People are saying no, whatever it is. And you guys peace out. And I just can't wrap my head around this, because we have to understand that what we do is simple, but we still own a business. And the thing about that is it's going to come with hardships, and it's going to come with times where we're like, and I want you to know the only thing keeping you from SED is, instead of facing adversity head on, you're running and hiding and saying, I don't think this is for me, right? It's so easy to say, I don't think this is for me if you're not succeeding, right? It's so easy to show up when you hit your rank and when you're getting the bonuses and whatever. Try not ranking for 2 years, okay? Are you still going to show up? Are you still going to fight through the adversity? So I saw a quote, and it says, adversity introduces a man to himself. And it's so true, because that's when you really get to look at yourself in the mirror and saying, like, all right, bitch, are you going to do this? Like, are we going to do this or not? And so tonight, I really want to talk about showing how failure is really success just in progress, and how this year, I want you guys to run at adversity. I want you to run at failure head on and know this is for me, right? This is meant for me. I'm going to grow through what I go through, and everything that's placed in front of me right now is a test to see how bad I truly want this. How bad do you guys want $1 Million Club? How bad do you guys want director? Right? And every obstacle put in front of you, or even with, like, if you have businesses outside of this, or families, or your relationship is going through something, how bad do you want it that you're willing to fight through adversity and hard times? So tonight we're going to tell you a few stories of people who are where they are, and you probably think like, oh my gosh, like those people are the most successful people that I know. But you might not know how they got there, right? People get praised in public for what they do in private. And a lot of people that are successful now went through a lot of shit to get to where they are. So we're going to tell you 4 stories, and I bet you're going to be mind blown. And then Pixie's going to go on a little bit about some other stuff too. So Pix, why don't you take it off?
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to say I've been like beating this over my girls' heads. So for the people that haven't heard my calls, I have been saying, right, like, you know, when you show up to your business, like Sam is saying about going to the gym, right? It's positive reinforcement. You go enough, you feel good, you look good, you want to continue showing up. After a while, it doesn't take so much to form that habit because it's already formed. You feel good. You know, I was like making the joke on one of my other calls. I'm like, you know, your leggings are looking right. You're getting rid of that cellulite. You feel confident walking by the mirror in the locker room. That positive reinforcement is what is going to keep you going back. Negative reinforcement is 10 times as powerful. So when you're constantly saying to yourself, I can't show up, I can't make it, I can't push myself to the next rank, I can't get my girls on calls, I don't have time to dedicate to my business, that positive reinforcement is what's holding you back. And I'm telling you, it is 10 times more powerful than any positive reinforcement that you have. So if you're sitting there right now and all you've been telling yourself is that negative narrative, that you can't do it, that it's not going to happen for you, that you've had too many setbacks, that the time has passed, then you're going to stay in that element. That's where your business exists. That's where your ranks exist. That's where your checks exist. That's where you exist. So I really want you to keep that in mind, because I think it's important that you show up to a certain amount of calls every week and you hold yourself accountable, because the more you show up, the better you're going to feel. You're going to be like, you know what? I got on 3 calls this week. I reached out to 50 people. I posted every single day. I feel really good about myself. You know, maybe I didn't make all of the sales that I wanted to, but I'm confident in my abilities and I know that it's going to happen for me. So that's like my little thing that I just wanted to say, because I've been saying this on so many calls and I think it's really important that people understand that. So, you know, the first thing that, Sam, do you want me to go into the stories first?
Yeah, start with the one that the KFC one.
Okay. All right. So Sam and I were talking, and we like to come up with inspirational stuff because it's important. It's important that it's inspirational, and it's important that it's real life, because then you have some perspective. So I'm going to read this to you guys because I found this really interesting. So I'm going to read it. Once there was an older man who was broke, living in a tiny house and owned a beat up car. He was living off of $99 Social Security checks. At 65 years of age, he decided things had to change. So he thought about what he had to offer. His friends raved about his chicken recipe, so he decided that that was his best shot at making a change. He left Kentucky and traveled to a different state to try and sell his recipe. He told restaurant owners that he had a mouth-watering chicken recipe. He offered the recipe for free, just asking for a small percentage of the items sold. Sounds like a good idea, right? Unfortunately, not to most of the restaurants. He heard no over 1,000 times. Even after all of those rejections, he didn't give up. He believed his chicken recipe was something special. He got rejected 1,009 times before he heard his first yes. With that one success, Colonel Heartland Sanders changed the way Americans eat chicken. Kentucky Fried Chicken, popularly known as KFC, was born. Remember, never give up and always believe in yourself in spite of rejection. And I just want to make mention, KFC is now worth $15 billion.
I have chills because you know how many people give up when they hear 10 no's for shampoo?
And like, not for nothing, like he's trying to sell fried chicken, you guys. It's kind of like goofy, right? You're walking into restaurants, you're like, buy my chicken recipe. And people are looking at him like, what? And now he's in 135 countries and he has over 22,000 restaurants worldwide. Okay. So for every no, that just fueled him to be better. So that finally, when he heard that yes, everything took off for him. Everything worked out. And the next one that we're going to read is actually, I think this is really awesome. Okay. This story of success will be one more great example of how people should never give up. The story is about Brian Acton, computer engineer and internet entrepreneur from the US. In 2009, two big companies, Twitter and Facebook, turned him down for employment. However, after he did not get into Facebook, he was looking forward to life's next adventure. Guess what happened? Brian Acton created the most popular mobile messaging app in the world, WhatsApp, which I'm pretty sure every single person on this call uses. Believe it or not, WhatsApp was sold to Facebook in 2014, okay, just 5 years later, for $22 billion. WhatsApp is now the biggest mobile messaging service in the world with 800 million active users, the vast majority of whom are outside the US. Brian Acton now has a net worth of $5.1 billion. He is ranked 138 among the Fortune 400 people by Forbes and 338th billionaire in the world. He is ranked as the 120th wealthiest man in the US. The lesson behind the story, you never know what is coming for your life next. Just don't forget to try harder tomorrow, as one rejection can push you to the next level. Acceptance, which is, in this case, much more valuable in all possible ways. Okay? So we thought these were really cool.
The person who rejected him ended up buying his stuff. Okay. I'm going to tell you two more short ones. The next one, you probably know his name, Michael Jordan, one of the most successful basketball players in all of the world. He earned 6 NBA championships and 5 NBA MVP titles. But what you guys might not know about him is that he was actually he did not make his high school basketball team, okay? So in 1978, Michael Jordan was just another kid in the gym, along with 50 of his classmates or so, trying out for the Emslie Laney High School varsity basketball team. There were 15 roster spots. Jordan, then a 15-year-old sophomore who was only 5'10" and could not dunk yet a basketball, did not get one. The team was in need of his length. It was embarrassing not making the team. Jordan later said he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. Then he picked himself up and turned the cut into motivation. Whenever I was working out and got tired and figured I ought to stop, I'd close my eyes and see that list in the locker room without my name on it. Jordan would explain that usually got me going again. Jordan, using his sizable chip on his shoulder to his advantage, spent his sophomore year as the star of the junior varsity team. That summer leading into his junior year, Jordan began to morph. In 1979, he grew 4 inches and worked out constantly. That year, he made the varsity squad and instantly became Laney High's best player, averaging more than 20 points a game. Despite having secured a spot on the team, Jordan's work ethic didn't drop. His senior year, he averaged a triple-double and led Laney to a high of 19-4 record. So basically, guys, what these stories are telling you is that it's so easy to quit, right? And all these people, you look at them and you're like, oh my God, they've just God-given talent, right? It was just handed to them. That's not true. And that's not going to be true for you. And the difference is that these people never gave up. They saw the end goal and they were like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. All right. And then the last one is J.K. Rowling. She started writing her book, Harry Potter, and immediately pulled away from her work by the devastating death of her mother. She ceased working on the book and sank into a deep grieving depression, getting little to nothing accomplished in that time. After that, she got a divorce. Her and her daughter were left, basically, she said, brokered, like on the verge of homeless, right? So she got back into writing her books, and despite numerous setbacks, she found solace in doing what she loved. In fact, she found that little had enough to be moderately happy. She had ended up in exactly the position she feared most. She sent it, when J.K. Rowling had finally finished the first 3 chapters, she sent the manuscript off to a publisher. They quickly passed on the project. She sent it to another publisher. Again, the answer was no. Her mailbox filled up with rejection letters, but that didn't stop her. Failure meant a stripping away of the inessential. I stopped pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was, and began to direct all of my energy into finishing the only work that mattered to me. And now Harry Potter has earned over 400 million in book sales, and the last movie alone earned $476 million in ticket sales. So when she thought she was at her worst, whatever you believe in, God was just setting her up for what it is now, okay? So we wanted to talk about how failure can make success super sweet. Pix, if you want to take it away, close it off, let's do it.
Yeah. So, I'm like one of those people that I'm super open with a lot of things in my life, which is obviously why I love this business, because I live it out on social media, which can be really, intimidating for some, but I personally love it. And I'm open with my story and my journey in Monat. And I pride myself in it, because I wasn't that person that came in and ranked up consistently and then hit the top of the company and then it was all smooth sailing. And I've learned so much about my journey, and I've learned so much about this business that way. And I wouldn't trade my experience for anything, because now I feel like I'm made of steel. Nothing can get to me. So when you've had setbacks and you're thinking that that is going to make or break you, you just have to realize that the more pain that you go through, I look at it as weakness leaving the body, right? So pain is weakness leaving the body. And I've always thought that in working out and business and, life experiences. So the more you allow those struggles into your life and then letting them go by doing better, okay, the stronger you become. So my little anecdote for people that don't really know me on Sam's team, I know my girls know, but last year, November and December, I hit associate executive director. Okay. I had been in this business for a year and a half. I thought I had made it. Okay. I was writing out my check amounts that I was going to make based on what I made in those 2 months. I was like, yep, I'm going to make this forever. I'm quitting my job. My life is set. And then we had some things happen in our business, which everyone went through. We had a couple unfortunate things happen where, we lost big legs, right? So I had an MMB leg that I lost. I had an MM leg that I lost. I lost critical components of my business. And now sitting here and like recovering that and building that all over again, I look back and I'm like, I didn't even look at it as defeat. There wasn't one moment in my mind where I even considered quitting. The words never left my mouth. My upline never got a text message of me complaining saying, I can't do this. I give up. I quit. You know what I did? I said nothing. I went back. Okay. I retreated. I wasn't as out there as I was before, being all, oh my God, I made it. I'm so excited. I had to retreat. That was my line of defense. I got quiet. And when I get quiet, that's when shit gets scary, because I'm doing work. When I'm the most quiet, the biggest things are happening in my business. So for those months that I spent quiet, where I saw everybody ranking, I saw everyone celebrating those huge ranks where I was super happy for them. I knew that I was only making my comeback. So I spent all of January, February, March, April, May, and finally in June, took me 6 months, I re-ranked to AED. Did it make me feel good that I went back? No. But for all of the work that I'd put in prior to that, before even getting to MMM, I was never going to throw that away and just give up and then go back to my 9 to 5 and accept defeat. I'm not that person. I will never quit. That is just not in me. And I don't think that's in anybody that's on this call right now. That's not what you're made of. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting here right now listening to what we have to say. You would have gotten off of this call, you'd have your phone in your hand, you wouldn't be paying attention. And if you are sitting here with giving us your undivided attention, just know that what Sam is saying about a year from now, your check being times 4, it could not be more true. Because what I watch my checks do is be multiplied by 4 in a year. My check has been multiplied by fucking 4. And I don't say that to brag. I say that because if I can do it after I lost so much of my team, I didn't even realize it. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I lost those people, whatever, carry on. I was like, I really didn't think it was that big of a deal.
It's so true.
And now I sit here and I'm like, no, holy shit. Like I lost so much. And I never even looked at it that way because I don't look at life that way. That's why I said yes to this opportunity, because I only see the glass half full.
Because you don't know how you were gaining so much at the same time, but it was just
right
inside, right?
Right.
Like you weren't making the most money then, but you were learning more about yourself and becoming who you need to be to get to SED.
Right. And I learned huge things. I learned how to delegate tasks. Okay. I was a control freak in my business a year ago. I wouldn't let anyone do anything. And then I couldn't figure out for the life of me why my business wasn't thriving, because here I was saying, oh my gosh, no one's doing calls, and what am I supposed to do? And like, how am I going to carry all of this myself? Because I never showed anyone how to do it. I kind of kept it for myself. So I learned crucial lessons, and now I'm a better, stronger leader for it. So that's my little story about failure. But going into what do you guys need to do to be successful in the business in 2020? Okay. You need to accept some things, some honest truths about what other people see in you and your business. Okay. And that's that people aren't always going to see you. They're not always going to accept your vision. Okay. They might be inspired by you, but that doesn't mean that they can accept that vision for themselves. That is a very hard pill to swallow when someone accepts self-love, but you can promise them that you can work on it together in this business. So find out what's holding someone back from this business. Someone may say it's money, but it may be, their self-confidence. It may be self-love, self-worth. Okay. Someone may have told them for their entire lives that they'd never be good at something, and now they're scared to join. So be a human. Okay. Don't make it all a transaction, because that's where it gets really scary. Don't treat people like they're a transaction, because you're going to have people that are going to walk out of your business and they may come back. So if you treat it like, oh, they're gone forever, screw them, they were just, money in my pocket that I lost, you're not going to be successful in this. And that's the hard truth. So don't treat people like that. And the other thing is, you're going to have people that are going to walk in and they're going to promise you the world. They're going to tell you everything you want to hear. They're going to be like, I'm going to get on every call. I'm going to rank up in my first month. What do I need to be market mentor? And I'm saying this by experience. I've had people say to me, what on their first onboarding, what do I need to be market mentor? And here I am being like, oh yes, this is my runner. And that person never got on another call after that. And then told me a few days later, like, that this business just wasn't for them. So my point in saying that is, don't take anyone by face value. You never know what you're going to get. So accept people when they come to you, do what you can for them, but do not let your business rest on one person. That is the most crucial mistake. You know what? That one MMB that you enrolled, or, that you got to promote last month, they may not promote again. They may not hit that rank again this month. You better have somebody in the wings waiting. So when you think you're comfortable, that is when your business is most at risk. Okay. And that is like the realest shit that I can give to you guys. When you feel comfortable, go 10 times harder, because not only will that solidify your position in this business and in this company, but it will just help you sleep better at night. Okay. I promise you, when you do everything that you can do in a day, it's going to make you feel so much better at night. It's going to allow you to put your head on the pillow and feel that much better. And the last thing, and then I'm going to put something on that Sam sent to me that I think I wanted you guys to hear. She's like, let's just talk about it. I'm like, no, I'm going to play it. It's super inspirational. But the last thing that I'm going to say is, we are an uncommon breed. Okay. We are the people that are willing to look ourselves in the mirror and accept that we are not perfect, that we have flaws. And then we're willing to work past that. So many people close themselves off to opportunity because they are afraid of what not only other people are going to say about them, but what they're going to say about themselves. I straight up had a friend of mine, after I showed her my last check And I said, I will get you there. I will do everything it takes to get you there because you are one of my lifelong friends. I straight up had her turn to me and say, I am too afraid of what people think of me to do this business. And she is unwilling to take advantage of it because she is so crippled by other people's judgment. And the fact that everyone's sitting here right now, willing to put themselves out there, okay, willing to fail and start over again. I've had people tell me they're done and they're probably back on this call right now saying they're relaunching their business. Do you know how rare that is? Do you know that you are those 1% of people that are going to make it in life? And guess what? It's here where you're going to make it, because there is no other opportunity out there that is going to provide what Monat has given to us. I promise you that. I had the dream job. I worked for the best company possible. I had the best benefits. I had the 401k. I had the freedom, I thought. I didn't have to go to a desk job every day. And you know what? I still felt like I was suffocating. So my word for 2020 is freedom. Freedom that I never had before. Freedom, okay, from people's judgment of me. Freedom from, what people are going to say about my business, what people are going to say about my family. People want to say, oh, what, she's a sugar mama now. She's paying for all of her fiance's stuff. She makes more money than him. Fuck yeah, I do. And I'm proud of it. Love him, but he walks around proud as hell of me, because when we first started dating, I wasn't in this position. I don't care what anyone has to say about my business, my family, okay, my friends. I don't care anymore. So my word is freedom. That is my word. And I'm going to use that and live by that for all of 2020. If I don't feel free when I'm doing it, then I can't be a part of it. Okay. Now you might have some calls and some work to do that may not make you feel so free, and you might feel a little bit tied down, guys, but that is going to take you to freedom. Okay. It's going to take you to lifelong freedom. I can't tell you that the last 12 months that I spent grinding where I wasn't seeing immediate results led me to everything that I achieved in December. Okay. I had my son. I was on maternity leave. I didn't want to go back to work. I was able to quit my job. Okay. I was able to have the best Christmas of my life and not only give stuff to my immediate family, but like my parents, and make their Christmas the best Christmas ever. And that's what this is all about. Okay. So grind it out for the next 12 months. And I promise you, next January, you're going to be sitting here like, oh my God, you were so right. I have my Cadillac. I'm market mentor. I've quit my job. I'm retired from corporate America. I was able to let my partner quit their job, incredible things you could only have imagined. And a year ago, I sat on a call, hosting a call, and I was like, next year I will be in that position. And here I am. And here Sam is, right? Sam, did you quadruple your check from last year? Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. Her check was disgusting. Love you, but shit was disgusting. Everyone go for SED. I promise you'll cry. So the last thing is I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I'm going to play this little piece that Sam sent to me. Give me 1 second. Okay. Get on here.
Wait, I need to mute someone.
Yeah, please. Okay. We're just going to play this for the last minute, and then we're going to wrap it up, okay?
It's necessary to know that everybody won't see it, that everybody won't join you, that everybody won't have the vision. It's necessary to know that a lot of people like to complain, but they don't want to do anything about their situation, that you are an uncommon breed. You have to know within yourself that I can do this. Even if no one else sees it for me, I must see it for myself. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success.
I love it.
Hold on, I'm trying to, okay. So, whatever you guys are going through right now, I just want you to understand that the more momentum that you build in your business, the easier it's going to be. And it's much, much, much easier to run with the wind at your back than against the wind. Okay. So stop fighting against it. Stop saying that you understand and you can do it your own way and that there is a better way. We've given it to you. We've done the research. Trust me. What we give to you guys, what we tell you guys, clearly it's working for us and it can work for you. Okay. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's just a matter of showing up, being consistent, and then, obviously grinding it out like everyone's saying. So I don't know if you want to add anything else, Sam.
No, guys, I just want you to take 2020 and just make it everything that you can, because you do not want to look back and say, oh, I could have done more. I could have done more. I want this to be the year of I did whatever I could, right? The billionaire and the beggar have the same 24 hours. Time is all, we all have the same time. So think of what you're going to do with it. All right. Do whatever the hell it takes to get where you want to go. Thank you guys. I recorded this, so I'll send it out in the chats. I hope you guys have an amazing month. And I'll see you all in Vegas, hopefully.
Yes. Bye, guys. See ya.